Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered platform. I appreciate you guys listening to all our content on all our channels and platforms. I'm your host, Dave Shumate, longtime recruiting director of player personnel in the SEC, and I'm here to give you today the top 5 impact players for Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers heading in to the 2024 football season. But as you know, guys, we have some bills to pay first. And MyBookie, our buddies at MyBookie, there's a lot of lines already out there. I bet some last week. Week 0 is not being kind to your boy. Week 1's going to be better, though. But go to mybookie.ag and use code SECU at sign up to receive a special welcome offer on your first deposit, guys. There's no better place to bet. This is where I put my lines in. So I encourage you to go use those, guys, and use that code, guys. Help yourselves out. Let me help you. Use that code. First time sign up at SECU for a special welcome offer. But let's get to why you are here, guys. The top 5 impact players for the Tennessee Volunteers heading in to 2024. How this goes, guys, just to explain it, this has been a segment I've been doing for all 16 SEC teams. We've been going in alphabetical order. We're obviously to the T's now, but we go in reverse chronological order, 5 through 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll give you some guys that just missed the cut, and we'll recap it at the end. But starting at number 5, I'm kind of proud of myself with this one. I like this one. Wide receiver Dante Thornton came over last year from Oregon. The 6'5", 215-pounder, I think, is going to be a top 2 wide receiver for this offense in 2024. You heard me. A top 2 wide receiver for this offense in 2024. I could be wrong. That's kind of my bold take for this year for Tennessee. But I even remember talking to people at Oregon. Remember, I worked in the personnel world, know some of those guys over there at Oregon at work in recruiting. And they thought he'd be a great fit at Tennessee in that offense. They were kind of surprised he didn't have a bigger year last year, but he got hurt towards the end of the year. I think it was that Missouri game he did. But go back and watch some film from last year. The numbers weren't great. I think he had 1 touchdown. It wasn't consistent, but you saw him make plays in the Florida games at times, and then coming back to Joe Milton, helping him make plays on 3rd down. Kentucky had some big 3rd down conversions, and even had the big-time catch that I think he actually got hurt on. Touchdown, really the only bright spot of that game against Missouri and Columbia last year. Had to adjust, make it a contested grab. I thought it was a very impressive ball when you went back and watched that Missouri game from last year. Add in, he's another big-time 3rd down possession type body like Brew McCoy. Him and Brew McCoy, I think, went through rehab together with their injury. So there's going to be some camaraderie there, I think, built up. There's going to be some trust there. If Thornton becomes consistent, like I think he's going to be in 2024, if he becomes consistent, Tennessee's weapons on the outside are going to cause massive issues for defenses. It is. I mean, you're going to have Thornton, Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, and Chris Brazzell coming over from Tulane. And I thought Thornton was starting to come on when they moved him to the outside, but then he got hurt. He played inside early, looked more comfortable with that X spot on the outside. That's when he looked comfortable. I think that's where he's going to be this year with Brew McCoy. Oh, and factor in, if he's producing on the outside, you know who gets to go win the middle of the field? Oh, yeah. Transfer of tight end, Holden Stays. That's how it works, guys. You win on the outside, it puts more stress on the defense to have to go defend that, leaves the middle of the field wide open. It helps everybody. Everybody wins. If Thornton comes on, it will help the entire Tennessee offense. I think he does. So that's why he comes in at number 5 for me. Moving to number 4, impactful player for the Tennessee Vols in 2024. We're going to the secondary. We're going to the other side of the football. We're going to Willie Martinez's group, and that's corner Jamad McCoy. I mean, I read an interview with Vols safety Andre Turrentine. He said, Jamad McCoy, he's making plays, quote, he is making plays I haven't seen from anyone at that position since I've been here. As a freshman at Oregon State, remember, he's coming over from Oregon State, 16 tackles, 7 pass deflections, pair of interceptions, and he faced some good quarterbacks last year. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Cam Ward, Noah Fafita at Arizona. Just tell you, there's not a lot to say really because the secondary, I mean, it's just a bold take. It's impactful players. You go back and watch this field, you like what you're seeing. I think Tennessee just has to be pretty solid on the back end this year because I think their front, the defensive line and the linebackers, if they stay healthy, is going to be a good unit. Come down to the secondary, really for the defense and a lot of it for the team, I feel like, to know the real upside for Tennessee in 2024. But bold statement here, I think McCoy will be the most consistent corner that the Vols have had during the Josh Heupel era. And that's not saying a lot because that's been the weakness. But I do think this guy's going to be a stable. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be consistent. Going to be a stable of that offense. Or that defense, sorry. I think he's going to be a consistent face, but they're going to make Tennessee fans are going to make, finally, we have somebody we can trust on that back end. And no one's going to breathe easier than Willie Martinez and Josh Heupel. But that's why I got Jamad McCoy, the Oregon State transfer, coming in at the corner, coming over from Oregon State, coming in at number 4. Number 3, Come on, guys. We know about this one. Number 3, you may think he needs to be higher. Defensive end, James Pierce, best defender in the SEC heading into the 2024 season. Long, athletic, has a very explosive first step. Let's be honest, guys. Number 27 is an absolute monster. Had 27 tackles, 9.5 sacks in 2023. He could be right now. I think going into the season, he would be the first pick. He would hear his name called first on that Thursday night heading into the 2025 NFL draft. Shows ability to win on the edge with his speed, but with improved power. I'm not saying he doesn't have power. I'm not saying he's power deficient. If he just improves it, which I think he has, he could be damn near unblockable. Guy impacts the entire defense across the board when you look past just his sack numbers. I mean, go watch the forced fumble against Alabama when he was 1v1 with Caden Proctor. Forced that fumble a little bit that Jaden Milroe could have slid up. But again, hey, he understood. He tried to strip sack. He understood where he was when rushing the passer, where he was on the hip side of Caden Proctor, where Jalen Milroe was. Give him credit. That's instinctual. That's not just rushing the passer without a plan. James Pierce has a plan pre-snap. That's what a lot of people don't remember. The best, or don't realize, I should say, the best edge rushers, best pass rushers have a plan for the balls even snap. They're not just running down the middle of the offensive tackle. Offensive tackles love that. You got to take a shoulder. But another play I loved from him last year was go watch the pick six Tennessee had. I think it was Kamal Hayden in the South Carolina game, deep in South Carolina's own territory with Spencer Rattler. That was James Pierce. Give him credit. He was in Spencer Rattler's face. He beat the true freshman. I think it was Tree Babalade maybe, or Trevon Ball. One of them, it got that start for South Carolina, and Kamal Hayden took advantage of it, came in, walked in for pick six. That was a credit to James Pierce, guys. James Pierce also going to help his guy opposite of him. Joshua Josephs is going to be wrecking havoc. So many teams are going to be adding that extra tight end, that extra running back to chip. That's going to give Josephs a lot of one-on-one opportunities. He's a guy, just spoiler alert, he was going to be on my just miss the cut guy because I think James Pierce helps him. He helps everyone behind him. He helps the secondary. It's going to be improved as well. James Pierce not only helps himself, but he helps everyone else in the defense. Offenses have to factor in how to game plan around him. So he comes in at number 3. You can make a case to me he could be higher as well. I'm sure that'll be in the comments. But moving to number 2, quarterback. I say in every one of these videos, Nico Iamaleava, most important position on the field in all of sports, the quarterback position. In all of sports, obviously football, but I would say in all of sports. The guy has all the upside and tools to be an elite quarterback. My wife could tell you that by watching him. Nico is almost what Josh Heupel would create in a lab to be his quarterback. But I think what is going to separate him, and this isn't a take I've heard from many people, is simple is going to be easy for him. The easier throws, he's going to be able to consistently make much more so than Joe Milton, maybe even more so than Hendon Hooker. This is what makes the great ones great. Who can do the little and simple things at a consistent level over and over and over again? That is key, folks. I'm telling you, there isn't a quarterback in the world that fits this Josh Heupel system as well as Nico Iamaleava does. Also, don't forget, he's a hell of an athlete. He was a volleyball player in high school, and he's going to be able to pick up plays with his legs with design runs that Tennessee's going to factor in and off in provision with his legs. I know everybody likes to think Tennessee throws it outside the hash downfield. They want to run. If it wants to be honest, if the numbers in the box are there, they're going to have a lot of design runs for Nico, and I think he's going to be able to pick up some plays off in provision as well. Impact will be felt for everyone in Knoxville in 2024. You can make a case he's number 1 too, but I'm fired up about my number 1. I'm fired up. Let's move to it. Number 1, center, Cooper Mays. Got to respect the center position. Got to respect the big men up front. I think he's the most important piece to the Tennessee offense when you factor in Nico's going to be a redshirt freshman making his first full season start. And we saw last year how the offense didn't look themselves when he was out. The Florida game comes to mind. I think it was Addison Nichols, who's now at Arkansas, got that start. But he's a senior who has played a lot of football in this league, will be a helpful tool for making that transition of a redshirt freshman, making his first full season start. I think it's going to be massive. We're not talking about that. Cooper Mays announcing him coming back. There shouldn't have been anyone more excited than Nico Iamaleava. There really shouldn't. Nico Iamaleava should have been more excited than anybody outside, probably Josh Heupel. But Nico, he's going to be judged unfairly at the beginning. He is. I mean, their first road game in the league play, I think, is going to be tough. At Oklahoma against the Brent Venable, Zach Alley defense. And that defense in itself, that they have the least amount of question marks on defense, by the way. But I think having a center who can make all those checks, get his quarterback comfortable is going to go a long way. If Tennessee was breaking in a new center this year, I'd probably add them another loss. I'm telling you, I think Cooper Mays is that big of a difference, a 2 to 3 game difference of him being back for Tennessee this year. I have Tennessee 10-2. I have them losing to Oklahoma, have them losing to Georgia. I think they make the playoffs. But without Cooper Mays, I think they're closer to kind of that 9-3 team with that schedule. I know I said 2 to 3 game difference, but really probably a 1, which would put them out of the playoffs. I think Cooper Mays is one of the more underrated players in the SEC. I know he's on all these first team SEC, second, third team. Forget where he got announced in the All SEC team. But again, I think I really see myself and probably Tennessee internally really appreciate what this guy does, and obviously the Tennessee fans. But I think he comes at number 1 because I think him coming back is going to be so key for a first-time starter going into his full season like Nico is. So he's my number 1. But just missing the cut here, wide receiver Brew McCoy, we mentioned him earlier. Wide receiver Chris Braswell coming over from Tulane as well. Left tackle Lance Hurd, but I think Tennessee's more of a product of the system up front offensively. And obviously Cooper Mays is the most important offensive lineman. I think any of the 3 running backs behind Dylan Sampson, who could be RB2, could be in this. Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, Khalifa Keith potentially. Tight end Holden Stays, the Notre Dame transfer, could be in that as well. I mentioned defensive end Joshua Josephs because I think so many people are going to have all their attention and game planning on James Pierce, at least early in the year, until Joshua Joseph starts to come on. And then they're going to be in trouble. Hey, how do we handle both these edge guys? Look out for Joshua Josephs. On the interior, I think defensive tackle Big Omari Thomas, he could have a big say as well. Rodney Gardner done a phenomenal job coaching up that defensive line. And then corner, kind of like you need him to step up as well. I mentioned Jamad McCoy, but also corner you could mention probably being an impactful player for the Vols on defense on that back end. Probably Ricky Gibson as well. They need him to step up at either one of the corner spots or the star spots. But those are some other names to probably keep an eye on. It just missing the cut. But just recapping, 5 through 1 of the most impactful players for the Tennessee Vols heading into 2024. Number 5, wide receiver Dante Thornton. If he can step up and be a top 2 receiver for Tennessee, they're going to be loaded. There's going to be so many guys they're going to cover on the outside. He's going to make life easier for Nico Iamaleava and other people as well. Coming in at number 4, Jamad McCoy. I think he's going to be the best secondary player, best corner that Josh Heupel's had during his time. Again, they don't have to be great on the back end. Just be average. Just be average. Number 3, you could make a case he could be higher, but I think he's the best defender heading into the league. Defensive end James Pierce. He's going to improve everyone's game on defense. He just makes – that's a guy when you're game playing in Tennessee that you're like, we got to know where he's at all times. But he's going to go help his buddy Joshua Josephs on the other side because he's going to get a lot of one-on-one matchups with, like I mentioned, offense is adding that tight end and running back to go scheme up against James Pierce. Number 2, quarterback Nico Iamaleava coming in, redshirt freshman, first start. I think he's the perfect fit for the Josh Heupel system from a quarterback perspective. He's going to make the simple things easy. And the great ones do the simple things at a consistent level. And then number 1, I think an underrated pick here. I love it, though. Center Cooper Mays, massive comeback, massive get for him to come back for his senior year for Josh Heupel and especially Nico Iamaleava. I think Cooper Mays is going to be key. He's going to be a game or 2 difference across the board. Remember, Tennessee's offensive line did not look good against Florida last year when he was out. I think his first game back was against South Carolina. If I remember, Tennessee's offense looked a little different after that. But, guys, I appreciate you joining us on this segment of the top 5 impact players for Tennessee heading into 2024. Remember, I'm your host, Dave Shumate. Go like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would love your comments in this video, guys. But, hey, it's the SEC Unfiltered channel, guys. All things SEC 24/7, 365. Can't wait to continue to bring you this dynamic football content.